Welcome back to our channel, where today we're diving into perhaps the most explosive celebrity courtroom drama of the year. Diddy loses it in courtroom after 50 Cent's new audio is shown as evidence. A moment so raw and unexpected that it's left the entire entertainment industry reeling. Have you ever witnessed a powerful figure's carefully crafted image crumble in real time? That's exactly what happened when these two hip-hop titans' long-standing rivalry reached its boiling point in the most public arena possible. Picture this scene: the federal courthouse buzzing with anticipation as Sean Diddy Combs makes his entrance. Dressed immaculately in a sweater layered over a crisp white-collared shirt paired with perfectly tailored gray slacks, every detail of his appearance meticulously chosen to project confidence and respectability. He embraces his attorneys with what appears to be genuine warmth, his sunglasses concealing any hint of the anxiety that must be churning beneath the surface. The room goes quiet as he takes his seat, his posture perfect, chin slightly raised, the classic power pose of a man accustomed to controlling every room he enters. But could anyone, even someone with Diddy's resources and connections, truly prepare for what was about to unfold? The courtroom that day wasn't just filled with legal professionals and journalists. It was charged with an almost electric tension. Spectators exchanged knowing glances, reporters clutched their notebooks in anticipation, and even the most experienced court officers seemed to sense something monumental was about to happen. Have you ever felt that electricity in the air right before a storm breaks? That's the energy that permeated every corner of that courtroom. Then came the moment that changed everything: the prosecution's introduction of audio evidence allegedly taken directly from 50 Cent's upcoming Netflix documentary. As the first notes of Diddy's unmistakable voice filled the silent courtroom, you could almost hear the collective intake of breath. The recording contained casual conversations that, on the surface, might seem innocuous. Comments about shopping trips, offers to pay for things, suggestions about kicking it together. But in the context of the serious allegations he's facing, these seemingly casual remarks took on an entirely different, far more troubling dimension. What was most fascinating, and for Diddy, most damaging, was how these recordings appeared to reveal a side of him rarely glimpsed by the public. The carefully cultivated image of the smooth, professional mogul seemed to slip away with each word that played through the courtroom speakers. And that's when it happened. According to multiple witnesses present that day, Diddy's transformation was both sudden and dramatic. The composed businessman who had entered the courtroom with such confidence began to visibly unravel. His jaw tightened, his hands gripped the table with increasing pressure, and then the explosion. He reportedly stood up abruptly, voice raised in protest, demanding the recordings be thrown out as manipulated evidence designed specifically to damage his reputation. Court officers moved closer as the judge repeatedly called for order, while Diddy's legal team frantically attempted to calm their client and regain control of the situation. But why would these specific recordings trigger such an uncharacteristic public loss of composure? To understand that, we need to examine the gravity of what's at stake. The charges Diddy faces aren't just serious, they're potentially life-altering. The indictment includes racketeering charges, which essentially accuse him of running an organized criminal enterprise. Then there are the sex trafficking allegations and charges related to transporting individuals across state lines for questionable purposes. Legal experts have pointed out that these charges carry mandatory minimum sentences ranging from 10 to 15 years each. With combined charges, we're potentially talking about decades behind bars for the music mogul who once seemed untouchable. This kind of evidence fundamentally alters the dynamics of a high-profile case like this, explains one legal analyst who's been following the proceedings closely. What was previously circumstantial now has a tangible component that jurors can hear with their own ears. It creates a psychological shift in how the entire case is perceived. For Diddy's defense team, this represents nothing short of a crisis. Their strategy, which likely relied heavily on challenging the credibility of witnesses and questioning the lack of concrete evidence, now needs substantial recalibration. How do you defend against your client's own voice? What explanation could possibly neutralize the impact of hearing these comments in Diddy's distinctive tone and cadence? The timing of this evidence release appears masterfully calculated. And that's where 50 Cent's role becomes particularly fascinating. Is this simply the latest chapter in a long-running feud, or something more strategic? Consider the history between these two powerful figures in hip-hop. Their rivalry dates back to 2006 when 50 Cent, then at the height of his music career, released The Bomb, a track that took direct aim at Diddy. Since then, their conflict has played out across various platforms. Diss tracks, thinly veiled social media posts, pointed comments in interviews, and public mockery. Throughout it all, Diddy typically maintained his composure, rarely acknowledging 50's provocations directly. He projected an image of being above the fray, too successful and too established to engage with such petty conflicts. But 50 Cent has proven himself to be something far more dangerous than just a talented rapper. He's revealed himself as a patient, strategic businessman willing to play the long game. His Netflix documentary didn't just happen to coincide with Diddy's legal troubles. It seems deliberately positioned to maximize impact at precisely the moment when Diddy is most vulnerable. What we're witnessing isn't just celebrity drama, comments one industry insider. It's a calculated chess move years in the making. 50 waited for the perfect moment when the stakes were highest, when Diddy had the most to lose, and then he struck with devastating precision. The aftermath of this courtroom incident spread like wildfire. Within hours, clips and descriptions were circulating across every major news outlet and social media platform. The public reaction has been equally explosive and deeply divided. Longtime fans find themselves forced to reconsider their loyalty as they process this new information. Industry figures carefully navigate the treacherous waters of taking sides, knowing their responses could have significant professional repercussions. Some defend Diddy vigorously, arguing that the audio has been manipulated or taken out of context specifically to damage him. "This is nothing but a high-tech character assassination," wrote one prominent supporter. Others see this as confirmation of rumors that have circulated for years. "Sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire," commented a former industry colleague. And there's been smoke around Diddy for a very long time. What makes this situation particularly compelling is how it transcends typical celebrity gossip. It raises profound questions about power, accountability, and the potential for abuse within entertainment industry structures. Are we witnessing the downfall of one individual or the beginning of a larger reckoning? How many others might be implicated if all the details come to light? And perhaps most importantly, how many voices have been silenced over the years to maintain these power structures? The documentary that sourced this evidence appears designed to expose not just Diddy as an individual, but potentially a system that has allowed certain behaviors to continue unchecked for decades. As one commentator noted, when power becomes too concentrated and goes unchallenged for too long, the potential for abuse multiplies exponentially. As this legal battle unfolds, several critical questions remain unanswered. How much more evidence might 50 Cent's documentary contain? What other recordings might exist that haven't yet been made public? Will additional witnesses feel empowered to come forward now that the case has gained such prominence? And perhaps most urgently for Diddy, can his legal team find a way to mitigate the damage caused by this audio evidence? Legal experts suggest that the prosecution will now build heavily around these recordings, using them as a foundation to establish patterns of behavior that support their broader charges. For the defense, the challenge becomes finding ways to contextualize or explain these comments without further damaging their client's credibility. As we continue to follow this extraordinary legal battle between two industry titans, one thing is certain: the reverberations will be felt throughout the entertainment world for years to come. The day Diddy lost his composure in that courtroom may well be remembered as the moment that changed everything, not just for him personally, but potentially for an entire industry built on carefully maintained images and behind closed doors dealings. What's your perspective on this unfolding drama? Do you think 50 Cent's timing was calculated, or is this simply a coincidence? And more importantly, what other revelations might still be waiting to emerge? Share your thoughts in the comments below, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications to stay updated as this explosive story continues to develop.